Hello, I'm Keith Baldock, Road Safety Officer for Brighton and Hove City Council. As a mainly urban environment, over 70% of our serious road casualties are vulnerable road users. Around 40% of those, depending on demographic, are due to failure to look properly or related factors. Looking at the detail of this, both in terms of research and data analysis, it was clear that there are a variety of components to this overall collision factor description. Mobile devices are ever more entwined in all our lives, with those who grow up with them most liable to be at risk on the roads with them, however they use the road. Pedestrian, cyclist or driver, with the driver obviously having most potential to cause damage. As well as the obvious physical sensory distraction, the emotional context is also important. Sitting in on an indoors course for those who'd been involved in a collision but had been offered a course instead of prosecution, stories of how their collision came about involved an emotional upset in over half the cases. We've run a Share the Road, Share the Responsibility campaign for over 8 years, using media and partners to raise awareness of distraction needs to focus on the roads. Several different demographics have been targeted, using a wide variety of media and styles. But in general, the aim has been to raise awareness and educate for behaviour change. More proactive attempts have also been made, trialling interactive VAS mobile phone use signs, incentivising advanced driving, etc. But there hasn't really been a tool to enable road users to enhance their engagement with the road environment that we could offer. Our council ran a few mindfulness sessions for staff recently. Having read a few research articles on mindfulness and driving in the States, I contacted Dr. Robert Marx and Paula Bellows at the NHS Trust providing the council sessions. My funding comes from the central government's Access Fund, aimed at improving active travel safely. I'm allowed to be fairly creative with how I use this to enhance road safety in the city. I wanted to see if we could trial a short film intervention using mindfulness to improve engagement. Selecting the young driver demographic to focus on, we developed a script encompassing mindfulness practice, but hopefully contextualising it in an acceptable manner for the demographic. The idea is to demonstrate and illustrate risks, then give a basic mindfulness practice leading onto a web page with much more information. I recognised that we needed a really good evaluation to actually give some weight behind any work that was done, and so bid for a Road Safety Trust funding for this with Sussex University Psychology, but unfortunately failed. However, with access funding that I had coming to an end, I decided to run with a basic trial and aim to learn from it. Thus, we'd welcome any comments and ideas on how to improve how we're using mindfulness in this kind of situation, a short intervention. I'd like to thank very much Dr. Robert Marx and Paula Bellows from the NHS Trust for all of their expertise and enthusiasm, and also to Sarah West, who produced and directed the film and came up with some excellent ideas. Again, I'd welcome any comments and ideas as how we could optimise this resource. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Dr. Robert Marks. I'm a consultant clinical psychologist working for Sussex Partnership NHS Foundation Trust based in Brighton. I'm also the co-lead for the Sussex Mindfulness Centre, which is an organisation within Sussex Partnership that brings together mindfulness researchers, teachers and trainers. We work with patients and staff in the NHS, and we also work with other organisations outside the NHS to support staff well-being and resilience in the workplace. I was driving to work one day about a year ago, and I was listening to a piece on the radio that was describing some research that had come out, looking at the relationship between what people listen to on the radio and the safety of their driving. This research was suggesting that if you listened to Bat Out of Hell, I remember, that tended to make your driving worse. And indeed, listening to certain kinds of rock music tended to increase the speed at which people drove and also increased the number of lane changes that they made. This research got me thinking and wondering about whether there might be a role for mindfulness on the safety of drivers, but in the other direction, in a positive direction. So we did some research and we looked up the small but significant research that exists on the effects of mindfulness on driving. The research suggests that mindfulness can in fact reduce the number of near accidents that people have and can reduce the number of times that people text while they're driving and the number of traffic light or stop signal violations. How does it do this? Well, contrary to some people's perceptions that mindfulness takes you into a hypnotic or dreamy state, in fact mindfulness does the opposite. It really sharpens up our ability to sustain attention and to concentrate, and therefore it reduces the likelihood that we're going to get distracted. It increases something called situational awareness in the literature, which increases our ability to attend to a dynamic environment and extract the necessary information from it. It also helps us to regulate emotions and so reduces the likelihood of reacting impulsively and aggressively on the road. Encouraged by this research, my colleague Paula Bellas and I got in contact with Keith Baldock, Road Safety Officer at Brighton and Hove City Council. Keith took me to a very hard-hitting session that he and colleagues in the emergency services were hosting for college students to help them drive more safely. We got talking about how we could promote the positive effects of mindfulness, particularly on young male drivers, and we decided to make a short film. I think Keith will point you to or show you the film that we made, and I hope you agree that it depicts very real life situations in which people might be tempted to drive unsafely. It then takes you through a brief mindfulness-based exercise which is portable, accessible, and easily replicable to anybody who might watch it. We hope you enjoy the movie, and we'd like to just express our thanks to Keith Baldock, who's been a fantastic colleague to work with, and we wish him well with his excellent work saving lives on the roads at Brighton and Hove Council.
What is that?
What? I was
You
literally
promised
just playing
me.
football with my friends.
You
What
literally
is the problem?
promised me you were going to meet me.
Have
If
I
you're not going to tell
done?
me the truth, I just don't even
What?
want to know anymore.
What?
Like, just,
Well,
like,
what's the problem? What's the problem?
I've got knowledge like a 118. I'm not someone great. I get funds from my puns in abundance, mate. Try one when you go and get redundant, mate. I'm not gonna go some 100 ways. In killer out, cause it's done that way. With a big bar, cause it's a thunder base. I run the place. I'm still drinking drinks on a run with
This girl.
you suffocate. I was up to you say, but you fucked it, mate. I'm up to date. I'm out, so taking never fluctuate. I'm all like a
When you're driving, where are you? Where is your mind focused? Sometimes you are not in the best frame of mind to start your journey. You may be distracted by an argument you've just had, or pushed for time, and your emotions are in control. But to safely get from A to B, your mind should be right here, right now, in gear, alert and alive. So before you set off, relax. Notice how you feel inside. Is your heart racing? Then stop. Take control. Breathe in and breathe out. And when you breathe out, sigh a little. And again, breathe in and breathe out. This is an opportunity to try something different, to let the seat take the weight of your body, to feel the seat belt across your chest as you breathe in and out, to invite your shoulders to drop and soften. Now you can start the engine. On your journey, there will be challenges, obstacles, and situations to maneuver around safely. You can't change the red light, so release the tension from your jaw. Allow the world to move at its own pace. Notice the temptation to respond to your phone. Does it have to be right now?
Call him back.
When distractions send your mind spinning off in all directions, sense your breath in your stomach, your chest, and your shoulders. Keep your eyes on the road and your mind in gear. You have arrived at your destination.